We continue learning Dirshu Mishna Berurah, wrapping up Siman Kuf Mem Gimel. We're still in the middle of the Ramah in Sif Dalid. The top of page Chav Zayin in your Mishna Berurahs. The Ramah here continues and says this is the din of the Algar of Piskim Ari, V'riyaz Amaril Pasku, the Ein Lavi Sefer Torah Acheres. Beis Yosef Pas, like the Zar Lod Sefer Torah Acheres, you have a machlekes here, whether one has to actually bring another Sefer Torah. L'chein, therefore, Zar L'chalikach, if all they have is this Sefer Torah apostle, and they cannot fix it, then we're going to allow you to read and even make a bracha on this Sefer Torah. And some say it's possible. So if there's one chumash without a mistake, you could be able to read from it, even though there might be mistakes in other parts of it. Okay, we're having, I don't know why the video is not working here today. Okay, let's go into the Mishnah Berurah. Says Mishnah Berurah, so finally, after this long and lengthy machlokes, what one does when he has a apostle Sefer Torah, finally the Mishnah Berurah, the Ramah over here weighs in and explains the Mishnah Berurah. What does this mean? Derech hachra'ah, that we're finally paskening what to do. The das argued that if it's a mistake, we don't take another Torah because you don't gain anything. And you're really starting to see that they had issues with their Sefer Torah. It's famous. Different, even as recently in the times of Ramosha Feinstein writes in Igros Moshe, how there was issues with different stam, different of the Seifrim. But here you see that there's a concern that the other Torah would have issues as well. The Das of Yosef holds that if it's just a minor issue, if it's just extra letters and whatnot, you could take out the Torah. There's some say that it's possible who could ask the mechaber loss of gimel, like the mechaber lechatchila you don't read from apostle Sefer Torah. Which of course is not always, or commonly I should say, the common scenario. Often the case is you do have another Torah. I guess the case where this would happen is if someone is away, or someone makes a simcha, and they bring a Sefer Torah. Of course, we remind ourselves with the appropriate caveats. You can't just carry a Torah wherever you want. You don't have another Torah. Then you finish laning. Just don't do maftir. We don't want to make extra brachos. Finish this aliyah. And you don't make another bracha. He calls out someone else until you finish the 7. So being a little bit more machmer, says the Shari Ephraim, that you're able to finish the aliyahs, but we don't want another bracha. The one, so it's going to be an interesting thing over here. We started laning, and everything was fine. Let's go by Shlishi, we run into an issue. So says the Shari Ephraim, we have to get the rest of Aliyahs. But we don't want the other people who are getting an Aliyah to make a bracha as it's the Apostle Sefer Torah. So what do? The guy who they found the mistake in the middle of his aliyah, he stands there. He continues to read along with all the other aliyahs. So you can have an incredible, interesting thing going on here. Again, in our case, that by Shlishi you find the mistake, you're going to call Bravi, Chamishi, and Shishi, and Shvi. They will not make a bracha. And the guy who got Shlishi is going to be there the whole time. And then after the whole Sidra, the guy who got Shlishi is going to make the bracha Achrayna. V'yomer gamkin after as well should get the after benavi brachas. You should not even have the brachas after ad kan l'shaynai vayim b'schei shekasich kan dagam mervava moide b'choza ayin sham. So that's what the Shar Ephraim dagam mervava are advising to decrease the amount of brachas that we are making. They already made the latter bracha. So then you're not going to make a bracha at all. But if you have one chumash that mistakes of katan lamid, hainu shekola sefer Torah who bilgilyon echad elish ein shalim b'li tois el chumash echad one sefer doesn't have mistakes. Avlam ein sham kim chumash echad l'kulam ein karim b'klav sefer beis. Meaning, if it's a separate chumash as they had sometimes, they had different scrolls, Bereshis, Shmos, Vayikra. Everyone agrees you can't lean from there. Here what we're discussing is that you have the whole Torah, Chamisha Torah. Just in the whole thing there are mistakes aside for one Seder, that's when we'll allow you to lean from it. Yesh lakos of Katalam and Alv, I know. Feel the Dasi Yesh Laislam and Alv, the Asir, Feel the Bishas of Chak, calls it, will absol Nimsa Ba'isei Chomish. She writes a likris, but that's if the soul within where you are leaning. If a different one of the Sidarim does not have a mistake, you can lean from it. The portion that you're leaning from is complete. It's not comparable when you have a separate scroll per chomish. So reminding yourselves that what is the reason? The reason that you can't lean from a separate chumash is not because there's inherently more of an issue. It's because it's not covered at tzibur to lean in such a scenario. However, what's the contradiction? That in our case, when you have all Chamisha Chumshei Torah together, just one of them is without mistakes, then in that scenario, we would allow you to lean from that area. We wrap it up with Sif Hey. Says the Mechaber in Sif Hey, Bisa Knesses, She'ein mi she'yodei likros in lavabal kairei. Elo echad, only one guy knows how to read. Yavarech v'yikra kisas psukim v'yavarech la'achreim. He gets an aliyah, lanes a few psukim, and he makes a bracha. V'chayz lavarech tchila v'kari kisas psukim, v'yavarech la'achreim. V'chein zasek ham abamim, k'misar elu shalis ha'yayim. If there's no one else that can lane, no one else that can read, so you keep it going back over for these 7 aliyah. He says, the Mishnah Berurah, if got to lam megimel she'in bahem rotzalaymar. Explains the Mishnah Berurah, what does this mean? She'ena yodim likras achrei shlich sibur mila b'mila mizach ksaf. Doesn't just mean that, of course, not just about kairei. It means he can't even lean together with the shliach sibur v'mechaber odl tamei b'sim kuf lam tesiv beis the kasav that he writes over there. We turn over the page for the final Mishnah Berurah. Because of Sham De'B'Ofen Zeh Lo Yala, you should not get the Aliyah Achein. However, Fimash, because Varam Absif Gimel, if you remember, Danukar Afilu Amaretz. Our minhag is we even allow an Amaretz to get an Aliyah, even though he's not going to lean together with the Balkar of Afilu Ein Yachal Ekrais. Achrei Amikra, he's not going to lean at all. Kosh Kisam Sham Mishnah Berurah of Imkain. Yishtana Haidina, then this thing as well changes. Till the dawn, the oilers are likos shiva kruyim. You always call 7 aliyos. Vivaruch Hashem Sivur v'yotze b'kriyos. So chemash v'aragroshim sefdalit v'ramaschol marilk l'varenu. That of course, since we are not a makbid who gets the aliyah, and we allow one to get the aliyah even if he does not know how to lane. Therefore, in every scenario, even if people don't know how to read together with the balkairei, we're going to give out 7.